Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs. My name is Jeffrey Davis. I'm the host of Radio Entrepreneurs. There's been no coup as of yet that I heard of. And I'm also chairman of the board of Mage LLC, the management consulting firm in Newton and Boston area. And every week we love to check in with the fabulous, stupendous Marc Z from Marc Z Legal Staffing. Welcome back, Marc.
Thanks, Jeff. Great to be back as always. Just so much fun.
Always. Marc, I hope you're having a great summer, working hard and playing hard. But what's on the agenda today?
Well, first of all, got to get you on a tennis court, so we've got to work that out.
I'm ready.
How are you feeling? I mean, you're not. How's your recovery from your ankle?
I think my ankle's fine. I probably need to do a little more leg weight so I have a little more speed, lose a little weight, have a more speed. Have to take more breaks just to rest, but the game is fine, the ankle's fine, and I actually played yesterday in the extreme heat, and I was able to survive.
Excellent. Well, we'll have to make a plan.
Again, we have the patented Marc Z move at the net.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Well, to pivot over to our topic today, talking about skills that you talked about, that's what employers are looking for now with hiring, Jeff. It's skills, evaluating skills and experience. What is the skill set? So it's really about employer mapping. What happened during the COVID hiring and probably up until about 5 months ago, employers just needed experience, needed help. They had a lot of give in terms of talents, in unequal skill sets sometimes, in order to at least have some skill sets that would work to support the group of professionals or the group of a employment team that needed help. They might not have it all, but they had enough. Now, employers are thinking more strategically. The market has leveled off a little bit. The hiring frenzy is still busy, but it's not as at a frenetic pace that it was before. So employers are saying, we really have to map out the skills, make sure the employee has at least a deeper skill set so they will be successful, because training takes a lot of time, is expensive, and if you have a wrong hire, it really can affect a company or a firm, particularly the smaller the firm. If it's bigger, you can absorb it more, but if it's smaller, it really affects the other colleagues, employees, and the firm company in general.
Well, I'm glad that you bring up skill set, because skill set is something that was hard to find. I know that we have a recent hire, you and I, where skill set was really my focus versus experience. And I was looking for skill set and motivation and ethics, which I think is very important. Motivation is always hard to look at. I mean, but it makes a big difference in a person. So I'm glad that you said that. And in an economy where we do have virtually full employment, finding the right skill set is important, because training alone won't do it. You're right. But training with motivation and skill set, I like to say, it makes a nice cocktail.
Correct.
It really turns out okay for all of us. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Well, thank you. The cocktail you want is obviously experience, but I'll tell you, so for example, as you know, I use the laboratory of our business, or the business is our laboratory for certain subjects. And so, for example, we talked about different subjects. One is, for example, with law firms, a lot of times they need somebody with a client-facing skill. So they may hire somebody with good experience, but if an attorney that has a specific experience in litigation or in certain other areas that have the skills and experience, but might not have client-facing skills, and that could affect things. Or if you're in accounting, you say, oh, I have great accounting experience, but maybe you don't have a deeper profit and loss background. Or if you have real estate knowledge, some people say, like, for example, with some commercial real estate companies and practices, they need commercial real estate, whether it's leases, whether it's financing. So somebody says, well, I've done commercial real estate. And before, in the frenzy of the hiring, people would say, okay, well, they've done some commercial, but mostly residential, but some commercial. Now they're saying, how deep of a commercial background do you have? And tell us what you've done in that area. And what they do is they also have their hiring point person ask specific questions, because previously those hires weren't asked these questions. They were brought on, and it really affected a lot of these employers.
I find the biggest problem in interviewing, Mark, is that the questions that most interviewers ask and employers are the same questions from company to company. So people are really, really well prepared for it. And, I've always taken a lot of pride in the training I got and that I give to my clients in what we call peeling the onion. I like to get to the underlying personality of the person and motivations, because that's really what I'm looking for. Because again, I feel people are really overly prepared for interviews, and I don't want people prepared. If anything, I want to get them with questions that they're not prepared for. And I think that that's an important part of what both you and I, from the different angles, try to teach our clients.
Correct.
And in doing that, I just want employers to know, talking to someone like Mark Z about who they're hiring, how they're hiring, is it the right person, is important. Mark, how do people find you if they need you?
Well, first of all, go to our wonderful Radio Entrepreneurs website, radioentrepreneurs.com, and we're in there along with a lot of the other key reporters. Google Marc Z, M-A-R-C, and the letter Z, and we'll come right up. marczlegal.com, marczlegal.com, or 617-338-1300.
And I know I'm going to see you again next week, Mark, on Radio Entrepreneurs.